doubled my wedding sales. So first off, obviously you're able to charge more. Your packages will get more expensive. And then my booking numbers also increased.
Last week, I headed to the UK to speak at Photography Farm's Thrive.
9, my favorite number.
And on the plane, I actually finished my hybrid course, which I've been working on since January, how to do photo and video as one human being on a wedding day. And if you're interested until the end of the week, you can get it for a discount. More on that in a minute.
I'm gonna say this was the biggest thing that I have ever done for my wedding photography business. It was back in, I think, maybe 2010, 2011. I decided that I wanted to start as a challenge to myself. I was already in the wedding space. I'm like 20 years into it. Although Sam Hurd tells me that always say 9 years. So you're always in it for 9 years because it sounds like you've done it enough, but you're not old. So I've been in it for a little while now. I did a lot of weddings very fast, and I didn't really get burnt out. It just kind of seemed like it was the same thing over and over and over again. And if you're doing 3 weddings every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, things don't change really day to day. You go in, you do the thing. There's no challenge really once you've troubleshooted all the problems, you know how to light a scene. It's very easy for you to go into that day with no mental stress, get the best photos possible in the most efficient way, and then go home. So as a challenge to myself, I guess a creative challenge and also just let's see if this works, I started doing video coverage as well.
Oh, the timing. Oh, it's beautiful.
So as you can see, I didn't bring a team of 4 videographers with me. The quality obviously isn't as good as a full video team, but what this is kind of that middle point, that if a couple, a lot of my couples, I'm very introverted, and a lot of my couples are also very introverted, and the idea of having 6 cameras in their face for the entire wedding day just scares the hell out of them. So if we can do photography and video as either just myself or maybe as a 2-person team, they are a lot happier from that social perspective. And then also budget-wise, that a lot of couples can't afford a full video team. They can't afford the video team that they would want. And when they book photography with me and they see that we can also internally do this video, they're usually pretty darn happy to book. So video is obviously a little bit different for the creative process. You kind of have to, I think the hardest part about shooting video and also doing your regular photography coverage is actually remembering to shoot the video. I had a sticker on the back of my camera that was like, shoot video, you idiot. Because you get, especially if you've done a lot of weddings, you get in the zone and you're a photographer and then you're like, oh, I didn't shoot any video during getting ready. All it takes is like 5 or 6 clips. You don't need a whole lot. It's not gonna overtake your day. It's not gonna take anything away from your regular work. But shooting these small little handheld clips in between creates, I would say overall the delivery, the deliverable that you're going to give to your couples. My couples are always really happy with their photography, but they are over the moon thrilled when my photography is paired with a video.
Quick editing note. Hybrid course on sale now until the end of the week, March 31st. It is on discount and you get a ton of bonuses, but there's only 100 of them left. At the time of recording this video, there's only 11 of them left. So if you're interested in getting in on the launch special, there are 11 left at the time of recording this, so probably less by the time you're clicking this. So the link in the description. If you are interested in shooting hybrid photo video coverage, it will make your wedding photography business a heck of a lot more money. Now back to Brighton.
What are they? Happy birthday, dear Joe.
He does like birthdays.
So as I mentioned, this doubled my wedding sales and my packages got more expensive, my bookings increased, and you also started picking up bookings of weddings that you just would not have gotten otherwise. That, I don't know how often it happens to you, but I will usually meet a couple maybe 3 months after they've already booked a photographer, not at a meeting, just like in a random, like talking to somebody at the bar. And it turns out that, oh, they're getting married, but we already have a photographer and that sucks because we really like you and we'd really love to hire you. And now you can be like, well, I also do video. And you can convert any of your photography packages to now video. So not only, now you can get that sale that otherwise would have been impossible because they had already booked a photographer. and it really doesn't take a whole lot of more work on the day. You have to stay definitely a little bit more present, and you have to remember you have to remember to shoot video first. And then you have to remember kind of where you're at in the edit. So if you're changing locations, you're walking across the street, you need to get a transition shot of that, whereas photography can be a little bit more, okay, now we're in a new scene, that's fine, maybe there's one establishing shot. Now you have to kind of weave that story in a slightly different way. I think by shooting video, you also teach yourself a heck of a lot about photography because you're now approaching a scene in a completely different way. And I think that I learned this when it comes to even couples coming down the aisle, that I would always just kind of stand here and I would get the exact same shot of everyone. And it was fine. Everyone was happy. But if you do that with a video and you get the same shot, it looks like people are just disappearing and appearing in the exact same spot. So now you have to get shots of shoes walking by, or you have to get slightly different angles on everyone, or maybe you're using a zoom lens rather than a prime to get a few different shots. And what I've learned doing video has definitely helped me in photography. So by doing video, it doubled my wedding sales in a variety of different ways. So first off, obviously you're able to charge more. Your packages will get more expensive. And then my booking numbers also increased because I was no longer somebody that was just being compared to the other photographer, that if they're looking at 3 photographers and they're roughly kind of maybe all in the same ballpark for price, all of a sudden I'm offering something that no one else is. And they're very happy to book with me, and also very happy the ease of it, that they're not going to have to talk to another video team. I will say that there are couples that will definitely still go with a full video team, and that's totally awesome. If they're that passionate about video and they have the budget, I'm not upset by that at all. What my solution is, it's kind of that in between, that it's for couples that they're for sure booking photography, and then maybe somebody kind of mentioned to them like, we really regret not having video on our wedding day. And they kind of want to maybe get a little bit of video, but they don't want to go all in. One of the things that I've seen over the past 8 months that has really kind of changed my perspective on this, looking back, it was last, I think, June or July that this started. And my couples are now asking me for video first and photography second. So my packages were always that I'm the photographer first. I'm not going to sacrifice my photography in order to get video clips. But now all of a sudden, a lot of my couples are asking me for a highlight video first, and then can we also have the family photos and a few of the ceremony. So now I'm delivering, in those specific cases, maybe 100, 150 photos from the wedding day, but a much better highlight film. The question I get the most is, how do you do both? For specifically when it comes to a first kiss, or maybe a first look, or when the couple's being introduced into the venue for the first time. And I have some tricks for it. Usually that trick is just relying on whoever I'm there with. I would say most full wedding days, I have someone there with me, and we'll just be like, you roll video on this, I do photos. The other option, if you're there by yourself, my friend Liam flips his camera. So he shoots his one regular camera, and then he just has a camera upside down. He just hits record on it and then just holds it underneath his camera. And he knows that it's roughly like, it'll put the wider lens on the bottom, and just know that you're gonna have to like maybe crop and skew that a little bit in post. But for a first kiss, you're standing in one spot. You're like this, you're taking the pictures, and you're just rolling the video underneath. Sam Hurd, who I mentioned earlier, shoots on 2 hands because he's crazy, man. So he shoots a 24 in one hand. He does this for the ceremony. So he'll be like down here. He'll be taking the pictures, and he'll also just be snapping with his left hand, like down here. He's a wizard. Don't try to copy him. But there are ways to do multiple different versions of coverage kind of all at once. You could also do something like where you actually have a GoPro on top of your camera, that if you need to cut away to those shots, you can. It's not something in a low light environment like this, a GoPro is gonna look like absolute trash. But if you're outside and you wanna get that first kiss shot, or you wanna get a shot of the couple walking down the aisle, GoPro stabilization is amazing, and it looks like you have a Steadicam, even if you don't. So there are a variety of different ways that you can go about creating footage. And I don't think that there's any rules to it. It's kind of whatever you think will fit, whatever you think that the couple is going to enjoy. I think it's key to start slow. The easiest first step this year, whenever you go to a wedding, create a 1-minute highlight film for your couples. Call it Instagram highlight. But I also offer kind of these vertical reel options in my packages as well. So if somebody hires me for photography and video, they can also get a 1-minute reel version of it. And now all of a sudden you're getting paid to actually make your reels. And I don't know if you guys are all the same, but I really didn't like reels at first. I like posting my still images. And that's what Instagram was. And now they're like, now make it video. I'm like, I don't really know how. But if you are offering that as a service, now all of a sudden you're getting paid to make reels and you're getting paid to make your social media content.
It was actually really cool. So at Thrive, the first day was talks like this. And then the second day, we actually went out and shot. And it was very interesting to see a lot of people take the first video clips ever that they've ever considered doing in the wedding space, and how far and how good everybody got within that 1 hour and a half of that shoot. So if you're interested, you can see my full start to finish process. We go to a real wedding day, destination wedding day. We go through a real edit of that day, as well as I talk to you about the pricing and the packages and everything else that goes into my entire process in 2023 of doing highlight photo video coverage as a wedding photographer first, now doing a highlight film. So check that out. It also comes with all the bonuses on the screen. There's so many, but there are only, at the time of recording this, 11 available of that bundle deal. So get in while some still exist, because this offer disappears on March 31st. Link in the description. I'll see you inside the full length course.